Welcome back to the Cutline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the up and let me talk. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die! Proceed to party!
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect. Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. I cannot take this anymore. I'm saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway, just like before.
Every time Austin wins,
Take me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
I need Busher to fucking win.
Cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to
break. I knocked my Coca-Cola
break.
off at bar there. Here, it's a party foul. Let's do it together. Let's back it up. I want to do it with you this time because I feel kind of the same way. No, count us down. Orchestra. Fuck! Oh, my throat is done now.
That's what she said.
No, not to me.
God, I wish
Not
I
to you
wasn't taking
either.
a break from alcohol.
Yeah. Well, you did say you were going to.
I didn't.
Dillon won the race.
I
You were gonna
didn't.
say, fuck it.
I did not do it.
You good job. You need it.
Sincerely thought about it. I was not a very happy camper Saturday evening.
Me neither. That's a pretty good race, but a terrible finish. Just awful. I mean, rather that Cody Ware win that race.
Yeah, I would rather Bubba have won that race. I would rather Kyle Busch have won that race. I would rather the 24 or the 20, the 54. I'd rather fucking Austin Hill have won that race. I don't know. He wasn't there, but fucking put him in that
Casey
3
Mears.
car. I don't have a problem with Casey Mears.
He gonna start this weekend.
Jeff Gordon,
Man.
Jimmy Johnson, anybody. Fucking anybody other than Austin
But that
Dillon.
motherfucker.
Not
for
to
you.
mention the implications, which we'll get into later, that this has on the playoffs has
Playoffs?
put me in a fucking awful mood today. So, just fuck. Just that's what it is. It's fuck.
Is that the name of the title?
It's
Should be
fuck.
the name of the title. Yeah, that was an unfortunate climax to a pretty good race on Saturday as Austin Dillon won. And now it puts
Back to
Chris-
back at Richmond.
Yep. This time under way less controversial circumstances. Did it the right way, did it the clean way. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did not take out Ryan Preece with 2 to go. Wish you would have.
Yeah, me too.
To give Bowman or
I was hoping Priest's
Blaney.
arm would start itching.
Yeah. But it puts Chris and all of your guys really in a must-win situation here at Daytona this weekend. And obviously for me, it puts Chris Buescher in a must-win situation for me. So, yeah, not looking good for our Championship 4 prediction of Chris Buescher making it there because he probably won't make the playoffs now, which, hey, I'm used to having one guy that's in the Final Four of my preseason predictions not make the whole damn playoffs. It's happened a couple times now, so I'm used to it. You're not, but Ty Gibbs, still waiting on Ty Gibbs to win 4+ races.
Yeah. Hey, he's got 11 to go.
Hey, the
He
math,
go on a Tony Stewart
the
type
math
run.
is still there.
It's still there. And
technically, Chris Buescher make a Final Four is still possibility.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. Not a good one, but a small chance. But obviously, kind of guess how we're doing. I'm doing like terrible. Fucking Austin Dillon wins. I don't hate Austin Dillon as much as you do, but I don't like him. And Chris just ran 30th.
I need to be put into a nice, comfy, padded room with a sweater vest on that keeps my hands constricted to my body.
I don't know what to do with my hands. What are you going to do?
A straight jacket. I'm about to go to
What about a gay jacket?
Well, you wear those all the time, but those fucking orange-ass Clemson balls on them.
Hey, better than a damn fucking sweater with a cock on it. Who's really gay there? Who's the gay jacket there?
Well, see, the problem is you are using that term in such a way that
You want a cock on your shirt?
makes it
You want a cock in your
seem
mouth?
worse than it is, because a cock, for years, has been
A chicken.
a rooster.
There you go.
Shorthand for cockerel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do like sweaters with cockerels on them. I'm a big fan of cockerels.
Take out the sweater and take out the rule. I like cock. Hey, I'm just going by the lingo.
Jacksonville State, right?
Yeah, can't stand them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm in a bad way.
I am too. Not a good
Is
day
it
for
college
us.
football season yet?
This weekend, week 0, get to watch Iowa State and Kansas State playing Ireland.
Kansas State by 32. Deuce Staley's still there, right?
Who?
Isn't his name? Not Deuce Staley. He went to
Deuce
South Carolina.
Staley?
What the fuck is that dude's name? Deuce Vaughn.
No, he is not.
I know. He plays for the Cowboys.
Yeah, 5'2", 130
Well,
pounds.
he is on the roster for the Cowboys. He doesn't play, but he's there. But anyways, this is a NASCAR podcast, unfortunately. I think maybe we should transition to college football.
We'll have not a heavy dose of college football, but next week's podcast we'll definitely talk about it because that'll be week 1 with the Hokies gonna beat the Gamecocks and then the
no. No.
Okay, dude.
That will not occur.
The bird, I guarantee you, the bird will win.
I'll tell you what,
the bird.
there will be a Tiger victorious week 1 in your game.
There
I know
will
that for
be.
sure.
There will be. Hopefully, it's
Missouri.
the right Tiger. Oh, they're playing too. Fuck it, come on. Have a 3-way. Pause.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. All I know is my players aren't getting arrested for DUI. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can say.
Ian just football. He just said, "You know what? I need some beers, and I'm driving home."
Yep.
It's all right. He'll. Damn.
It's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame. But at least we ain't Georgia. At least we ain't like Georgia and killing people.
That's fair. That's fair. But
oh, you can't say that. How dare you?
no, we can say whatever we want. I want some dogs. I want no cats. And I want Chris Buescher to win this weekend.
I do too. Let's go straight to that. I'm picking Chris Buescher.
Can we
this
skip
weekend.
the fucking Richmond review? What a shitty race. 0 out of 10.
It wasn't bad.
No, it was awful.
The racing itself actually was pretty good.
After stage 1, it was terrible.
Yeah, stage 1 sucked.
No, after stage 1, it was terrible.
No, stage 1
No,
sucked.
stage 1 was great.
That's just because Ryan Priest was leading the whole damn time.
Stage 1 was
And
great.
still lost the damn stage.
His fucking brakes didn't work halfway through the race.
Oh, yeah.
And their strategy
always an
was
excuse.
fucking terrible.
always an
He
excuse.
finished 34th, dude.
35th. Get your facts straight.
Led the entire first stage other than the last 10 laps, which granted he fell like 112th because of his tires, but then we never saw him again. But bless it, oh boy, that race was so frustrating to watch. I was frustrated a couple weeks ago at Iowa, obviously.
For a different reason.
Yeah, Brad dominates the race and finishes 3rd. Then we go to, obviously I picked Brad this weekend. I won out of sheer luck, but
Yeah. Thanks, Bubba's pit crew.
But, you know, got Ryan starts on the pole.
He
Brad
also started first as well.
Brad starts 6th. Chris
Woo!
starts 12th. I was like, hell yeah.
We got a chance.
Roush Boy's going to be good. Maybe they're not going to win, but we're going to be all right. We're going to be sniffing some competition out here. Stage 1, Chris was fucking awful. Fell from 12th to 19th. 2 laps. Brad was decent, but not great. Ryan was real good in the first stage. Obviously led all of that first stage through most of the pit cycle until his tires gave up, which I thought they
You
had.
gonna cry?
I've got
Burn of the heart.
Heartburn there. I thought that their strategy was wrong, and it turned out to be wrong. It turned out it wouldn't have mattered, but because the car broke. But poor pit strategy kind of mired the 60 car towards the back there. And like I've said before, like I've replied to a couple guys on TikTok, once you get stuck in traffic, doesn't matter how good your car is. You're kind of back there. And, there's a couple cars. Denny probably was the best car that I could see as far as making his way through traffic because he got put back there plenty of times and always worked his way back up. And, he would have had a chance to win this race if he didn't have, 14 issues on pit road.
Well, he fell back towards the end. He was like 7th and he finished 10th.
So
his car fell off at the end.
But, you brought up the point that, the track did change. It went from day to night, which probably had a little bit of something to do with the Roush cars, kind of having a really bad second stage because they were awful in the second stage. None of them were good. They were all back towards the late teens, early 20s. And just super frustrating after, the first 60 laps. Then when the pit strategy kind of worked its way out, and then we had that wreck in stage 3, kind of jumbled everybody up, and pit strategies kind of got evened out. Ryan Preece was looking pretty good to have a good shot at it, and restarted 6th and, kept driving that third lane and, making up some time up there on that restart, and then they had that final restart.
I think that's when his brakes went out.
And his brakes, he just dropped to the...
Because remember, he came up to 4th or something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was coming.
And then he just stayed there. And then lost a spot at the end of that stage.
Yeah.
And then the next restart, he was like 6th or 7th, and then he fell immediately back.
So it was just a real bad night. I don't even remember where my guys finished. I think Chris was close to the top 10. Or was it Brad? That was Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Brad was close to the top 10.
Brad finished 9th.
And then 35th for Preece and like 23rd for Chris.
30th.
Was it 30th? Did he fall back at the end too?
Yep.
I mean, just awful. Pathetic day at the office. It seemed like nothing could go right after qualifying for any of the Roush boys, which is obviously frustrating for me. In all seriousness, it was a decent enough race. The racing on the track was pretty good, especially when the tires were not even. I felt like the racing when everybody was on equal tires was not great because it's just so tough to pass. But once, tire strategies kind of got jumbled up and we had comers and goers and goers and comers, it got pretty interesting. With Denny, trying to win the first stage, and the 45 was up there, and was Preece going to be able to hold on? And then throughout the majority of the second stage with all the differing pit strategies there. And even, towards the end of the race, is Ryan going to be able to catch him? Okay, he's not. He's falling back. Is the 48 going to be able to catch him? No, he's not. Fuck. But it was at least interesting enough. But I will say this, that's 100% on Goodyear for just bringing a really good tire. The right sides were the soft compound that they ran here last year. They did bring a little bit harder left side tire this year than they did on those that they had on those soft compounds last year. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'm not a tire engineer. I don't know if they saw that they were having some left side issues last year or what. But the left side was a little bit harder, but I thought it made for pretty decent racing, but I think that this was a Goodyear thing, not a car thing. because the dirty air is still really tough. You could tell that with the 48 not being able to get past Shane Van Gisbergen, who was going a lap down, which he had a pretty decent race. And then who was it? It was in the 33 car. Jesse Love was up there.
He passed. Yeah, he passed Bowman on first year tires.
And just air blocked the 48 for the rest of the race. So, which I'm not mad at Jesse Love for doing that. That's being a good teammate. I don't love to see it. No pun intended, but it's part of racing. You expect your teammate to help you out in that situation, and that's what he did. So, for Austin Dillon. So,
why'd you have a problem with Chase Elliott blocking Kevin Harvick? At Bristol, the same thing almost.
Well, see, because that was a retaliation thing. And Chase was in the wrong to begin with, and
yeah, but Bowman never did nothing to Jesse Love.
No, he didn't, and
Harvick cut Chase's tire down at Bristol a couple years ago.
I mean, they were racing, and then he went out there and retaliated by being an asshole, and he was fucking 12 seconds faster than Kevin Harvick would have been at that point in time, and just didn't try to drive away.
Like Joe Logano did at Chase Elliott at Homestead, same thing.
Like I just said, I don't love it. I don't love it. I do think that there is some aggravating circumstances in Chase Elliott's example, but all in all, like I said, the race was fine. I think 6, 7 out of 10 is pretty good. It's good for a Richmond race. Richmond's kind of lackluster. Unless it's a tire strategy race, and it was a tire strategy race Saturday night, which made it redeemable, but the car still struggles in dirty air. Obviously, they haven't made any changes to it, so it's going to, and that's frustrating. And, yeah, I mean, obviously the ending was awful, so, and the results of which suck, so... I mean, if this was 20 years ago and it was just another race, I'd probably be a little upset, but, you know, it would have been a pretty decent race, all things considered, but I can't even look at it as it being a good race because of how it ended. So, just super unfortunate.
The way I'll say this race was, can't blame Goodyear no more. Because Goodyear made this race what it was. It made, like you said, comers and goers and goers and comers. Because that first stage on that first run, I mean, we hardly saw any passing for anything. I mean, the top 20, top 25 stayed about the same the whole time. You can say, yeah, guys, they're just kind of minding their P's and Q's, not trying to get into anybody, all that stuff. No, I mean, you know how important track condition is these days. Like, if you're at the back, starting at the back, like you need to try to get up there. Like you can't waste time trying to be nice to people or, you know, whatever like that. You don't want to, you know, just dump them or whatever, but you got to go at the beginning of these races. You saw that with Joey. I mean, Kyle Larson, one of the best drivers in the world. He qualified 30th or 28th, something like that, 30th I think it was. And he ran 32nd, 33rd before the first round of green flag pit stop started. Kyle Larson. He was running behind guys like Ty Dillon and John Hunter Nemechek and guys like that. No offense to those guys, but they don't have the talent. They don't have the car, quote unquote, that Kyle Larson has. And then yet Kyle Larson couldn't do anything to pass him. He eventually got his way up through there because he short pitted and gained all that track position from those tires wearing and from tires mattering for a change. So that was good. That's what saved this race because if the tires are 2022 tires that are hard as shit, don't wear hardly at all, you can run 250 laps on them, then this race would be fucking awful. Ryan Preece might have won this race if it was like that because it would have been so hard to pass people. And the pitting early and shit wouldn't have mattered because it doesn't give you really much of an advantage if the tires don't matter. So that's the way I look at this race. But when it got to that point where tire strategies were all over the place, it did become interesting because you had guys that were flying through the field that pitted later that lost track position over the guys that pitted early to try to gain that track position. And, you know, near the end of a stage, you'd see them all coming together and them trying to fight. I mean, the guys on first tires would fly past them. It's coordinated as kind of a give and take thing. You know, do you want to give up your track position or you rather give up those tires at the end of a run. And so that made for good racing. I mean, the Austin Dillon Ryan Blaney battle in stage 3 before that last pit stop was awesome. Austin was trying to do everything in his power to not, rough up Blaney, and Blaney did a good job on the outside, not, squeezing Dillon. He squeezed him, pinched him a few times, but it wasn't nothing crazy. He just trying to hold his own on the outside and trying to hold on to the lead with, lap cars, coming in their way and stuff like that. So
Pause.
got a lot of pauses today. But, yeah, this race was it was solid. Obviously the ending was not what I wanted. I was hoping Blaney could get back up there, but the 3 of Austin Dillon had the best car and the best strategy. They pitted early in that last run after they passed Blaney to not allow Blaney to jump him like they did on the previous pit cycle. And once that happened, I said, this race is probably over unless we get a caution because he was going to stretch that lead out from Blaney, and he did. He stretched it out to 8 seconds. Blaney, cut about half of it, and then he fell off. And then here comes Bowman, same thing. He pitted, I think, on the same lap as Blaney, maybe a lap after Blaney. He was coming and passed Blaney, and he got down to about 3 seconds, and then obviously the Shane, fighting him kind of hard, and Jesse Love thing. But I think Austin Dillon was just riding. I don't think he was like really driving all that hard. And it shows because Austin Dillon's line there off of 4 is he don't ever go to the wall. Everybody else goes to the wall off of 4. He just kind of stays on the bottom and keeps that momentum. And nobody else can really do it like him. Whether they can't do it like him or they just don't decide to do it, which past 2 years here, he's whooped everybody's ass pretty much. Maybe they should start doing the Austin Dillon line at Richmond. You remember the Harvick line at Atlanta? Let's change we got the Richmond line with Dillon. Because he's on a roll, man, at this track. He's a he's a Richmond merchant. It seems like SVG's been the road course merchant. Well, we got the Richmond merchant now in Austin Dillon. He deserved this one more than he ever has deserved any other race win in his whole career. Deserved last year up until the shenanigans there at the end. But shout out to Austin Dillon, man. 28th in points. He's not gonna really do anything in the playoffs, in my opinion. But hey, based off this system, he's in the playoffs, and he should be, based off this format.
It's no different than Harrison Burton winning last year at Daytona.
Optic, like actual, no, but the optics, yes, it looks a little different. Harrison Burton won off of a last lap pass at Daytona just because he avoided the wrecks. Yeah, Austin Dillon went out there and had the best car and beat the best of the best of the business at Richmond. So it's different there in my opinion, but it still adds up to the same thing. It's just according to how you get there. But yeah, that kills Chris and all your guys for the playoffs. They're gonna have to win this weekend, and even with Tyler Reddick having a bad day on Saturday, he's not necessarily safe like everybody thought he would be. Only 29 points above Bowman. Sure, that's 89 points above Chris, which we're not looking at points there at that point, but Tyler Reddick gets an early wreck, and Bowman gets a lot of stage points and finishes in the top 5, and we got a new winner. Tyler Reddick could be out of the playoffs, which would be insane, considering where he's been all year in points. So, still not safe for Reddick. Bowman's obviously not safe. He's the last guy in now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'll give this race a 7 out of 10. It was great. It was very solid racing, but that's strictly because of the tires. Do not go, all these people bitching about the car. What y'all say about it now? It ain't the car. It ain't. Watch stage 1 and then watch stage 2 and 3 with the tire difference. You'll see that's why we had the race that we had on Saturday. It was not because of the car. The car still sucks on short tracks, sucks on road courses, sucks on super speedways. Don't let it fool you. But for Richmond standards, for short track standards, it was a very, very solid race.
Well, with that being said, seemed like we both kind of agreed on Richmond being a pretty decent race. Was it the best race in the next gen car at a short track?
No.
I agree.
It was probably top 3 or 4. I'd still put the spring Bristol race that we went to last year.
Same.
Number 1, probably, maybe number 2. Then the fall Martinsville race last year was better than this race, very solid. I know it's because Blaney won. No, it was overall a pretty damn good race. Tires mattered. You had comers and goers, and had a pretty good finish there at the end. So this race is third or fourth on that list, but it was a step in the right direction for sure. And you know, it takes away the excuse that Goodyear, we got to have Goodyear bring good tires. It won't matter how good this car is if we get no tire wear, it won't matter. That's over with. So now we can look strictly at the car and say, we got to do something about this car, because if you fix the car and you put the tires on track like we did on Saturday night, and you had a car where you could actually pass, oh man, we'd be cooking with oil. So yeah, I think it's just it's not the best, and I don't know. I think the only way you can get a better race than this at a short track with this car,
I don't think you can.
You can't. You might not be able to.
I think this is as good as it gets, at least at Richmond. Now, whatever happened in the spring last year when we were there at Bristol, they can't replicate that because they don't even know why it was the way it was with the tire wear there. But yeah, I agree. I think that was the best short track race of the next gen era. Martinsville and Richmond, I agree. Maybe I like Richmond a little bit more than Martinsville last year. I don't really, not really remembering a lot of that race, but I do remember it being good. I can't really rake those, but I do remember Martinsville being the best Martinsville race of the next gen era. Which, to be fair, isn't a very high bar, but I'm not upset by any means at the racing that I saw most of the night at Richmond. The one thing that I am nervous of, though, is NASCAR looking at this saying, all right, we're good, right? And not doing anything to the car because Goodyear has put a Band-Aid on it. And I kind of have a feeling that might be what happens, is that NASCAR is going to look at this race, look at, I've seen everybody, every poll that I've seen, most of the fans enjoyed it. Hell, I thought it was a decent race, and I'm one of the stronger critics out there as far as the racing product is concerned. So I'm just nervous NASCAR is going to look at this and say, you know what, it's good, we're good, everybody liked it, let's do more of that. And it doesn't fix the underlying issue, right? It's taking pain medicine to make the pain go away, but not pulling the tooth that needs to be pulled, right? Maybe it masks it a little bit for a little while, but there's still something wrong there, and everybody can see it. Well, at least most of us intelligent fans out here can, but. I think it's going to be difficult for NASCAR to replicate this as far as the other short tracks go, because it's kind of a perfect storm situation with Richmond as far as the stages are concerned, with how the fuel mileage works and
Richmond's
how the tire strategy works. Yeah. It kind of is a perfect storm because you don't really get that at the other short tracks.
Richmond is one of the rare races where I think stage racing works kind of better.
Yeah.
And the way the links are as well, because you get not a short run, but a 70-lap first stage. It's long enough where you're going to have to make a fuel run, or not a fuel. You don't have to, I guess. More than likely you would, based in tires wore. So most everybody did change tires because of the tire wear. But you had people that taking a chance, like a Priest, like a Chase Elliott, staying out. Trying to hold on and try to save a set of tires for the end. I like this tire cut off minimum. I've always been a fan of that. I've always liked that in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. You shouldn't just be allowed to put on 4 tires whenever you want to. I feel like there should be a little bit of a shortage of.
You should have to make decisions.
Yeah, and that's strategy. That's strategy that I enjoy. That if, like I said, you have unlimited tires, you can just put them on whenever. But I think Martinsville and Richmond are similar in the fact that tires, if you get tires that wear, you'll have guys that can make their way up through the field because they're that good at that track. Just look at Austin Dillon. This is his best track. I think there's no doubt now. Richmond is Austin Dillon's best track. And he worked his way up through the field, pulled out to a 3-second lead. Win in this car, that's very difficult on an oval. It is. It's just we don't see that much anymore because of how similar and close these cars are together. But if you figure something out, the driver can make a difference. And I think Austin Dillon, I don't know if he had the best car. He had a top 5 car, but I think Austin Dillon is just, this is his bread and butter, that he was able to show his skill set and pull away from the field. And that's what we talked about last week. That's when people are saying, oh, y'all are just whining at SVG because he's so good. And the car, it's all SVG. It's not the car. All this, blah, 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 blah. Part of it, yes, was SVG winning. And so he's so good. He's the best at it right now. Also, it's because the car sucks on road courses. Same thing with this. Austin Dillon, Richmond, you can make a difference as the driver. And people that are not Austin Dillon fans are going to be like, oh, the ending of this race sucked. It wasn't close. I'm fine with that. If the best driver wins the race, I'm fine with that. But I don't want it to be because William Byron is just saving enough fuel at Iowa to win, to hold on to Chase Briscoe and Brad Keselowski when they're good on fuel and they're trying to catch him and they can't. Same car, people. It's the same fucking car. I don't want it to be like Bubba Wallace at Indy. Although he had a pretty good car. Kyle Larson just couldn't get to him. Pocono, Denny Hamlin. Same thing. Couldn't get to Chase Briscoe.
Dover last year.
Dover. Kyle Larson couldn't get to Denny Hamlin. This is the same car. Don't act like this car is fixed. Don't act like this car is good because of one race. And I agree with you because this is a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
It'll cover it up for a minute. And then eventually, guess what?
Don't do no damn good at all.
It don't gonna do no damn good at all at the end because if you think this race and you think this car is good now on short tracks, you're missing the big picture. So
it's like trying to watch away at the river road.
It's a step in the right direction. I know it sounds like we're always grandpa, get all old man on my lawn guy. That's who we are. We've turned into that.
Yeah.
But it was a good race. However, we have not fixed this car. We have not fixed everything. NASCAR always looks to innovate things, always looks to innovate on safety, innovate on this and that. And let's innovate on the race cars, damn it. We ain't changed this car in 4 years, almost 4 years now. Gen 4, we changed that shit around all the fucking time. Gen 5, we went from a fucking wing COT with the splitters to the end of the Gen 5. You didn't even realize it was a Gen 5 car no more.
Valence with a spoiler and side skirts and ride heights.
It looked completely
and
different.
Ride heights.
Yeah, Gen 6, shitty as the car that was, for the most part. At the beginning of the Gen 6, it was a lot more boxy, a lot more wide. At the end of the Gen 6, it was a lot more slim, slick, slower because of horsepower.
Yeah.
But they changed that shit all around. It's 4 years with this car. Why have we not changed anything?
It's kind of one of those things that I think NASCAR doesn't want to admit defeat on this one.
Yeah, they thought, bro, we ain't gonna have to touch this car.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
But
Yeah,
additionally, I think it's a money issue that NASCAR just doesn't want to.
Hey, here's the thing. We're blue collar boys. Unlike Richard Childress, he's blue collar. We're blue collar boys. We got all these NASCAR fans bust their asses, a lot of them do, working at a tough ass job at a plant, factory, whatever. They're busting their ass every week to make their money for their family. Yeah, we're talking about saving money here. We ain't gonna go to dinner here. We're not gonna buy this here. Yeah, we can talk about that. NASCAR, a multi-billion-dollar industry. I think they're a billion. They gotta be a billion-dollar industry. I don't give a fuck about you saving money. That's like that's like Jeff Bezos and Amazon saying, we're gonna raise our prices here on this fucking blanket because you know what? I don't have my usual $5 billion annually. I'm down to $4.9 billion. What?
They didn't make all that money by spending it. That's
I know.
That's the
but
one argument
I,
there, but-
I do not want to
I
hear
agree.
any more about we're trying to save money. You are a multi-billion-dollar industry. I do not give a flying fuck about your finances because you'll be fine if you spend a little money to make these cars race better.
I agree, but and we'll see. If there's been talks about the horsepower thing, and it seems like maybe 60, 70 horse coming to the cars next year, which
I mean, I'm happy for it.
better than nothing. It won't be enough, but they have got to. They have got to.
Have you seen the new Camaro that they're unveiling, or they unveiled this week? Motherfuckers got two, not the stock one. I forgot the name of it. 2,000 horsepower. And we can't get 1,000 in these fucking cup cars.
Yeah.
I want to know what the horsepower is on the new Ford Mustang. I guarantee you it's more than 670 or 7, whatever we got now. I can't keep up with it.
Not the base, obviously, but they do make like the which they don't make the GT 500 anymore.
The
but,
GT.
It's probably around there. Maybe
what?
a little less. The GT is probably around 5. But
500?
yeah. But
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. What do we the first time?
it's the regular base GT, but the base GT is just the regular V8.
Yeah.
Like it's not that expensive of a car. But anyway, the car is not fixed. They have got to get the downforce out from underneath this car. It kills the short tracks, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions. They agree with me that the downforce being under the car with the underwing and the diffuser and all that stuff makes it very difficult to follow, which, same thing I talked about last week. The Indy cars and the F1 cars have the very similar issue that the downforce is so important in the middle of the corner that if they're following somebody, they can't make the corner. So you have to be so much faster than the guy in front of you to even have a chance. That makes it very difficult to pass. So,
Which is why you saw tires.
Yes.
Are huge.
Because
Good.
the speed was different because of the tires.
You can drive into the corner a lot deeper on fresh tires than you can on 20-lap tires.
Yeah, you can get off the corner easier. You can roll the center better. I mean, new tires, fresher tires make the world of difference.
Yeah.
But when everybody pits, or at the start of the race, when everybody's on the same shit, you can't go nowhere. So it's really tough. Like if you got a caution with 40 laps to go in that race Saturday, you would have had 10 laps of phenomenal racing because it was on a restart if it didn't turn into a wreck fest.
Yeah.
But you'd had 5-10 laps of good racing, and then it would have been follow the leader for the last 30 laps because everybody would have been on the same stuff.
Yep.
And, luckily it wasn't, it didn't turn into that. I mean, it probably would have ended differently, and that would have helped me on the long run. But as far as just pure racing goes, the fact that this race had long green flag runs to allow the strategy to play out played it into its favor. But you don't get that a lot of days in NASCAR anymore, especially with the stages. So this is not a fix-all. This was not, hey, we've done it, let's check the box. Short tracks are good. Kind of like Bristol a couple years ago. Everything just kind of fell perfectly to have a good race, right? You had good tire wear. You had...
Probably extreme.
Yeah.
Extreme.
You had, some really good cars get put in the back of the field. You had some not so good cars play a different strategy. You had good cars qualify poorly. With Joey Logano, didn't qualify at all because he wrecked in practice. There was a bunch that helped this race out. And you're not going to get that every week. You're not going to get that at Martinsville every time you go. You're not going to get it at Bristol, Phoenix, any of these short tracks. I know Phoenix technically isn't a short track, but it races like one. This was kind of a perfect storm scenario, and it was still a 7 out of 10. So there's still some work to be done. I do not trust NASCAR to do it. but it does still need to be done. And, you can look at any short track in the country. You can look at any late model series in the country. The Cars Tour puts on some of the best racing on short tracks in the country. Anderson Speedway's got some good racing with their late models. Colorado National Speedway, Hickory Motor Speedway. Go to any short track that you want to if you've never been to one, and the late models are going to be putting on a better show than what the Cup Series does most weeks. And
yeah, watch a NASCAR. If you've never been to a late model or your local short track in the country, you ain't been to it. Maybe you have. It's just been a while. It's been since 10 years ago when NASCAR short tracks are still
go
pretty
watch a
good.
race.
Go watch a race there, and then turn on the Cup race at not even this weekend. Just
go watch Martinsville in a couple weeks, and
a couple months.
About 2 months from now. Watch Martinsville in 2 months. Compare that to your short track that you go to, and watch a race on a Friday or Saturday night. The racing's probably going to be better at the short track.
If you take your NASCAR tinted glasses on.
Yes.
You try to be objective.
The Cars Tour was at Anderson Motor Speedway, 20 minutes from my house. Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't race or raced in the race. I could have been there. I could have went and bought the ticket and watched the race, watched a much better show. Well, watched a good show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would have better. I wasn't there. I had some buddies that were there. I hadn't talked to them. But that would have been, I know it was probably at worst a good race.
Yeah.
At worst. And you're lucky to get a good race on a short track in the Cup Series. And that's what I feel. I feel like we got lucky Saturday with watching some decent racing. And I don't want to be lucky. I want it to be like Atlanta every week. We know when the Cup cars go to Atlanta, we're going to get a good show.
Yeah. It's the only, not the only.
We know when they go to
the
Kansas, it's going to be a pretty decent show. Even when it's a bad race like it was this year, it's still decent, right? Even when it's the worst, which I think Kansas was probably the worst it's been since this car's come out, and it still wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Charlotte. But we know when we go to Bristol, when we go to Martinsville, when we go to Phoenix, when we go to Richmond.
Maybe not now with the tires wearing. That's good.
Maybe not.
It won't be as bad.
But we know, at best, it's going to be decent.
Oh.
At best, it's going to be decent. And if it's good, we got lucky.
Yeah.
We don't expect a good race when we go to these short tracks anymore, which I think is a travesty.
Same thing with super speedways.
And same thing with super speedways. We're going to see a lot of follow the leader, and we're going to see a lot of saving fuel this weekend at Daytona. And hopefully you're not in a wreck, and with 10 laps to go, they'll start racing. So,
well, even when you start racing, you really can't do nothing.
And you can't go nowhere. So
got to be on the front 2 rows.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Daytona, we're good. Squeeze it in. Playoff cut line. I'll stop it. Whatever. Daytona's this weekend. The last race of the regular season. The playoff cut line got very clear after Saturday night with Austin Dillon winning. Obviously, he jumped his way in the playoffs with his win, was 28th in points coming into this race at Richmond. And now he is automatically qualified for the playoffs based off of his win. So it knocks Chris Buescher, who was on the cut line, below the cut line now. He's now 60 points below Bowman. So Bowman is 60 above, but he is the last guy in on points. And then you got Reddick above him, who's 89 points above the cut line. And he's 29 points, only 29 points above Bowman. So if we do get a new winner this weekend, it's not one of them two, Bowman or Reddick will miss the playoffs. So, one race to go. Points are really not a factor unless you're talking about Bowman and Reddick, 29 points between each other. Riley, not necessarily what you were expecting. Might give away your Daytona prediction or preview, whatever. But one race to go. Pretty big difference now in the points. What do you?
Well, obviously, anybody other than Bubba and
Bubba.
I mean, anybody other than I was reading Bubba. Anybody other than Bowman and Reddick, if they want to make the playoffs, they got to win. So,
I think Chris still has a mathematical chance.
Not going to happen.
But Bowman's got to blow up lap one.
If Bowman starts the race, Chris has pretty much got to win the race.
And Chris wins both stages and finishes second. Maybe there's a chance, but it's rare.
It's I mean, it's unfortunate for my guys. Obviously, I got 3 guys in one spot, and those aren't even guaranteed. So, I don't really expect the 45 and the 48 to be a factor as far as the wins go. I think the 48 more so than the 45. I think Bowman could show up with an attitude to win the race because he's got to put the pressure on the 45 to be able to jump him if something happens to the 45. He can't let a new guy win the race. So I think he's going to show up with somewhat of a, kind of split strategy as far as, do I try to win this race or do I try to not get caught up in a wreck? I think he's in the toughest position right now. So he's got a lot to think about. Him and his team got to figure out how they want to approach this race, because I think they should show up to try to win the race. But Daytona, anything can happen. It's the reason they put this race as the cutoff race. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, the Hendrick cars are really fast at Daytona. Won the last 2 500s. They're always good here. They're usually good here in qualifying, give or take a few years. But they're usually pretty good here in qualifying. So I think he'll be up there. He'll have a competitive piece underneath him. It's just going to be up to what their strategy is and where the wrecks happen. But as far as Chris and everybody else below him, they know what the goal is. You got to show up. You got to win. Anything else, second don't matter. What I'm kind of hoping for, just because I think it would create a really cool scenario, or try to figure out how they would work this out, is if you got a 3-car Roush battle at the end. Who the fuck takes that would be really interesting. Maybe Priest is on the top and Buscher's on the bottom and Brad's behind him. Does he push one of his guys to the wind? Does he, try to split them 3 wide? And that would be interesting to see, which is very possible because those Roush cars will be good too. And Brad should have won the Atlanta race. Thank Chase.
6 upside down.
But
9 now.
That's why they moved it here. It creates these scenarios. Seems like it's always like this at Daytona. It's real tight. Now, there's not really a points battle this year, which there usually is. But we'll see what happens. I do want to say this though, just about the shittiness of this playoff format. Chris Buescher's 11th in points as far as regular season points go. Ryan Preece is 13th. So if points were the only thing that mattered, both of them would be in the playoffs, and it wouldn't be close. Preece is 40...
Math is hard.
54 points ahead of Kyle Busch in regular season points, and Kyle Busch is 16th. So both of them have had good enough seasons to point their way in. But with SVG being 24th in points, Josh Berry being 22nd in points, and Austin Dillon being 25th in points. I mean, you got 3 guys outside of the top 20 with wins, which I don't love. But, and we could have 4. Ricky Stenhouse is back there. He could win. Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar. Like, we could have a bunch of a quarter of the field could be outside the top 20 in points if one of those guys wins this race, and it's entirely possible.
Where's Bowman in points? 9th,
8th, 9th, yeah, 9th, and
so
Reddick's,
if we get a new winner and it's not him,
7th,
and it's not Reddick, he's out.
Yep.
Being 9th in points, which is like that a few years ago when Truex missed the playoffs.
He was 4th,
5th or 6th in points. Like, in my opinion, that's just not right. But as far as the playoff cut line goes, remember how I said a couple weeks ago that
it wasn't going to be chalk?
It wasn't going to be chalk, and unfortunately I was right. because I knew there'd be somebody winning at Richmond that we didn't have, or Daytona this weekend was the main one I was talking about, but it happened with Austin Dillon. So, it kind of makes it life easier for Chris, more pressure on him, but it makes it simple.
I don't think there's any pressure on him. Show up and win the race or
don't. You got to go
don't.
win the race. You got to go win the race. You can't point your way into the playoffs anymore. They've been talking about wins all year. They've been talking about points don't matter. We got to win. Well, all right. This is truly win or get out, or you're not in, or however you want to phrase that. But it kind of sucks. There's no point battle this year because the past couple years we've had close guys in the points. Then get a surprise winner like a Harrison Burton, which knocks everybody down one, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I think this weekend's race, you're going to see a lot of aggressiveness from a lot of these drivers, just according to when they show it. Do all these guys that have to win just, hey, we only got to get stage points, let's just ride around. And really, you can't do that with this car, though, because if you're in the back of the field on the last run, you have no chance unless you get a big wreck or two and you miss it. And then you all of a sudden are up at the front.
The one thing I'll say about that is if they save enough fuel before that last pit stop by riding around, they can make that last pit stop shorter and jump them, which happens a lot here, which is definitely a viable strategy with how they race now. So that's a possibility as far as
that's what I'm saying. Just ride around at the back and just hope. But if you have a bad pit stop or you get blocked in or something like that, then you're screwed. You can't really work your way up through the field again unless you have a wreck to help you out to try to get back up there or try to get up toward the front at the end of the race. But it's pretty simple. If you get a new winner, it's going to be the battle between Bowman and Reddick. And if you're Tyler Reddick, like you said, it's a little he's in the most precarious position, in my opinion, because he still has to look at those points between him and Bowman. If Bowman ain't getting caught in a wreck early or something. And then if you got a teammate, you got one teammate that'll help you in Bubba because he's already locked in. But Riley Herbst, he's going to try to win the race. He's got to win a race to make the playoffs. Is he going to help Tyler Reddick? Maybe. I don't know. We get JGR.
Legacy cars.
The JGR. Denny Hamlin will probably help him out for sure. But the other JGR cars, will they? I don't know. Ty Gibbs got to win the race. I think the JGR cars are going to try to help Ty Gibbs. So Reddick really don't have a whole lot of friends like Bowman does with all three of his teammates, with Chase, William, and Kyle being in the playoffs. They can just push that 48 all night and try to help him out. So, Reddick's in the most weird position. He should be good, but, Bowman gets a stage win and finishes like third in another stage, and Reddick gets none. That's, 17 points right there? Then you only got 12 to play with at the rest of the race. So, that's 12 spots. That's all it is. So 12 spots at a super speedway could be 3rd to 23rd, and you're right there with them, but you can't go nowhere, and you're screwed.
Yeah.
So it's dicey for Reddick, but makes it simple for the rest of the guys. Win, and you get in. And I think you're going to see a lot of guys at the end of this race go for it, which could create a surprise winner or create a winner that won all year, just kind of gets lucky because he doesn't get caught up in anything.
The 24.
Probably. But we'll have to see how it goes. But kind of sucks there's no points battle, really, other than the 48 and the 45. But I think this is the best track to based on this format, it's the best track to go to determine who your playoff 16 will be. So should be fun to watch. Hopefully these guys go for it. Hit that button.
Hit the button.
RTT.
Ripping the topics.
RTT this week, ripping the topics. What we got?
O'Reilly.
Auto parts. Ow!
Series.
Yeah, that sucks. I will say, I hope they say, they're probably going to say the advance. That's definitely not it. O'Reilly Auto Series. I think it's going to be the Auto Parts Series.
I think it will be the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
I hope it would make more sense if it was O'Reilly Auto.
But that's not the name of the company. It's O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I know, but
so they're not
O'Reilly Auto Series sounds way better.
Yeah, but they're not going to say that.
I
It's
know.
not O'Reilly Auto.
So what do they do? Man, these guys worked on this cars, put on these parts just as good as O'Reilly Auto parts.
Yes.
Something like, there's no more Xfinity. I had a car as fast as Xfinity Mobile.
10G or 5G or
whatever
2G or
so I'm
dial
glad,
up.
I'm glad that will be out for next year. But as far as O'Reilly being a sponsor, it's cool. We get a new sponsor in NASCAR, title sponsor.
Wish it was Bush
Yeah.
Light. Bush Light Series.
Bush Light Lime Series. Bush Light Peach. But yeah, O'Reilly used to be in NASCAR way more back in the day. It would sponsor some cars, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. I don't remember who, but yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice. But, you know, it's always cool to see a new title sponsor in NASCAR. It seems like the Xfinity Series changes their title sponsor the most out of any of the other series.
Truck Series went through a phase there where
I mean,
it
you
was
had the Craftsman Truck Series for a long
then the
time.
Gander Outdoor Truck Series, then the
Camping
World Truck Series.
Then it went back to
and then
Craftsman,
It
though.
was back at Craftsman.
So we've only had 4. I think the Bush it used to be called the Grand National Series. So
Yeah, but it was the Bush Grand National Series.
I thought it was just always just the Grand National before Bush took over. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was in like the fucking 70s. It was Grand National Series. Then it was Bush Grand National. Then it was a NASCAR Bush Series. Then it was Nationwide. Then it was Xfinity.
When there some,
No, I'm missing one in between there.
Yeah, you are.
Nationwide.
Maybe you're not. It used to be called the Advanced. No, not the
What
Advanced.
the
I don't-
fuck was it? There's another one in there.
Was there? You might be right. It might be less than I'm thinking. But anyways, it's okay. I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice, but it's a solid sponsorship. It's a racing sponsorship, which is cool. It's not a beer sponsorship, but it's you got Craftsman, which is tools. And then you got O'Reilly Auto Parts, which is for car parts and stuff like that. It's like it makes sense for it to be a NASCAR title sponsor series. This wouldn't be my first choice, but I'm okay with it.
No, it went from Nationwide to
Xfinity.
So it started as the Budweiser Late Model Sportsman Series in
It's
the
a sportsman
80s.
series. That's right.
Then it was Bush Grand National from
Yeah.
84 to 02.
Then the Bush.
Then it
series.
was just the Bush Series from 03 to 07.
Really, it was only the Bush series for 5 years.
Yeah. Then from 08 to Bush Grand National from 84 to 02. So it was
Okay.
technically the Bush Series from 84 to
02.
07.
07, yeah.
and
Which is
then,
why people still
yeah.
reminisce as being in the Bush
And then it
series
was the Nationwide Series from 08 to 14, and then Xfinity took it.
for 15 to 25. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's I'm okay with it. Not my first choice, but I can deal with it. I wonder how they'll fit O'Reilly Auto Parts into the driver Shane's interviews next year. Be interesting to see how they play that. I'm sure it'll try to be something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, we talk about, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, they could call it the fucking Adam and Eve fucking sex toy series. It wouldn't matter.
Interesting. Why you got sex toys on your mind?
Hey, yeah, boy. But anyways, yeah, I mean, you call it whatever you want. It could be the McDonald's series, the Kellogg series, the Coca-Cola series, the fucking Hey Dudes Comfortable Shoes series. It doesn't matter.
Bro, nicotine pouch series.
Hell yeah. It could be, it doesn't matter. The racing's going to be what's important.
Marlboro Light series.
That'll never happen again. But, it is what it is. I think it's cool. Bring more money into the sport. New sponsors, always a good thing. Kind of similar to what we have talked about as far as sponsors on this podcast go. It's cool to have a recognizable name, which I think the title sponsor should be recognizable. And for the most part, it always has been.
I'll be honest with you, though. When NASCAR came out for the Xfinity Series in 15, I had no idea what Xfinity was.
I did.
I didn't.
The only reason you didn't know what it was is because it was a name change because it's Comcast,
Yeah.
which Comcast is not really around here. It's bigger now than it was when it first came around, but I mean, we still can't get Xfinity internet here.
Yeah.
But I knew Comcast from when I lived in Colorado because that's what we had there. But it's Xfinity now because owned by Comcast, but similar to Charter Spectrum,
Yeah.
kind of just like a name change type deal. But recognizable name, O'Reilly Auto Parts, fitting It's a fitting partner, auto parts store, auto racing series kind of makes sense. So, it is what it is. It's not anything that I would have, I'm going to lose sleep over if they named it anything else. It's kind of not important, but it is, cool story and is what it is.
You got a series. Do you feel special? You got a series
No,
named
because my
after
name
you.
is not O'Reilly. But
it's Riley.
and it's spelled differently. But
That's fair.
I will say this.
You got a drinking game next year? Every time they say O'Reilly Auto Parts, you got a drink?
That's going to be I'm going to be hammered. But I will say this. Back in the day when
That's good. What are you talking about? I don't see the fit, the bad. What's wrong?
It'll be good and then it will be bad.
That's true. That's true.
When I played baseball, when I came up to the plate, my
O'Reilly Auto Parts
my
thing?
team's fans would chant the O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Which pissed me off again.
Embry.
It's not my fucking name.
Go!
It's not my name. I'd strike out, but can't hit a baseball. It's the hardest thing to do in sports. But it's a name.
It is a name.
My daddy gave me a name. Then he walked away. That's a banger.
I don't even know what song that is. You don't know what song it is either,
I think it's
apparently.
Gave me a name. Daddy gave me a name.
Daddy
name.
Who's your daddy? Who's
your daddy? Who's your baby?
Who's your...
Something.
Yeah, something like that. Shout out Toby Keith. R.I.P. The Truck Series is still the Truck Series. Craftsman Truck Series that we are aware of. They raced on Friday night. Corey Haim won. Shocker. I'm
The
going to be honest
NASCAR
with you.
Corey Haim series.
I worked Friday
I didn't
day.
watch this shit either.
I fell asleep off and on. So I remember Ty Majeski was dominating the race, and he probably should have won. But he got spun out by...
Jack Wood. I don't know who it was.
Shit. He was leading.
Haley Deegan.
Was it Matt Crafton?
No wonder he's retiring.
Yeah, that's our next topic. It was somebody who was leading. He kind of backed his truck into the inside wall, and he was still fast, still finished second or third, I believe. But it seemed like that car had lost performance. Truck had lost performance after that incident. But he was dominating the race. Corey Haim was second to third all day, and had a good pit stop, got out in front of everybody, and kind of took off from there. It was a decent race. Had some wrecks. Had some good racing throughout the field from when I was awake. But overall, it was an average. I think NASCAR race. The Cup race was better in my opinion on Saturday night. But yeah, overall, Corey Haim winning his 7th win of the season, the most in the regular season.
And they've raced
in a long time.
fucking 12 times.
Yeah, it's the most wins in the regular season. And might have broke the record. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
He's gonna win 10 races.
He's broken a lot of regular season records this year in the Xfinity Series, in the Craftsman Truck Series. So if he doesn't win this championship, I don't want him to win the championship. But if he doesn't win this championship at the end of the season, it is a travesty.
Yeah, he won't.
It goes back to
He might not make the Final Four.
how bad this playoff format is. He's got a ton of playoff points, like 65 points. He's a full race and a half.
Yeah, he could probably just sit out a week.
He could. He'd still be fine. But, you get to the round before the championship 4, it gets a little dicey because if you have a bad race or two, if you have 2 bad races, he's going to have to win. Maybe. Maybe not. But if he has 2 bad races, it gets a little sketchy. And considering how dominant he's been this year, that would not look good for NASCAR.
I hope it happens.
I do too. It's kind of hard to
expose him.
It's kind of hard to back up your playoff format if you have Corey Haim not make the championship 4 in the Truck Series because he has been on another level this year.
Yeah. I didn't watch the race. Forgot all about it.
Well, we know how much you love the Truck Series. How dare you?
I mean, fucking. When you know who's gonna win, why watch?
Well, Tom Majeski should have won the race,
but he didn't.
He didn't.
And the only reason Corey Haim ain't won 13 of these motherfuckers because his truck breaks every other week.
That's not true.
I should have won Homestead.
Yeah.
Broke. Should have won
North Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro.
Got wrecked.
I'm sure there's another one I'm not thinking of. So Yeah, I mean, it's the NASCAR Corey Heim series. Everybody else is just kind of fighting for second place for the most part. That truck's the best truck out there. He's one of the more talented guys out there.
Oh, he is the most talented guy out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. But, I've been saying, I said last year, I'm pretty sure that he should probably not be in the truck series anymore. He's kind of too good. He's too good for that series. Yeah. Which, I was.
Sounds like he's not going to be in the truck series next year.
He shouldn't be. He should be in the Cup series.
And like you said, though, I think you said this last week or two. Maybe we haven't said this, but the only reason why he's not in the Xfinity series is because of him and Ty Gibbs' beef in the ARCA series back in the day. Was it ARCA or the K&N?
Yeah, I think it was ARCA. But, he. Fuck, I was going to say some shit.
I was going to listen to some shit.
Yeah, you were. It was some knowledge. Oh, I was trying to explain the truck series to somebody at work that doesn't know anything about NASCAR. So, what the truck series was essentially my whole life was, you had some really young guys that were trying to, get some experience on the bigger tracks, and then you had the old guys that really couldn't do Cup Series stuff. You had your Jack Spraggs and your Matt Craftons and, your guys that had a couple shots.
Squaffle.
Yeah, had a couple shots in the...
Rick Crawford.
Ron Hornaday,
Johnny Benson.
Johnny Benson.
He won a race at Rockingham.
He did. What's the guy's name? Johnny Sauter. Guys that got a chance here or there, in the Cup Series or, even in the Xfinity Series, but, Ted Musgrave. A lot of guys that had their shot but couldn't really cut it. And, you still kind of have that, but, with our next topic, one of the last vessels of that is kind of going away.
The last vessel.
And, now it's, you got one guy, one, two, maybe three guys that are, good enough to progress to the next series, and then you just have a crop of young guys that will never be good enough to get out of the truck series and
got in there because of money.
Yeah. So when Corey Heim goes away, I think it'll be more competitive. But it wouldn't surprise me if Corey Heim gets out of this truck next year, and we've got a Lane Riggs dominant season next year because he's the second best guy pretty much every week, other than Ty Majeski. Those two kind of battle for second quite a lot behind.
Chandler Smith quite a bit.
Yeah, Chandler Smith, which he's another one that probably is too good for that series, just not a great truck. But it's the truck series. It was a truck race. I didn't watch it. Not losing any sleep over it. Probably won't watch the next one.
And the playoff field is set. You got Corey Heim, Tom Majeski, Lane Riggs, Grant Enfinger,
Cesar Baccarella.
No. Why can't
Dude,
I
they
think of
used
this
to
guy's
drive
name?
the 2 truck. What's his name? Tyler Ankrum.
I think he's.
He won a race.
No, he didn't. Daniel Hamrick.
Did Ankrum won a race this year?
Did he?
Yeah, he won.
Rajah Caruth, he won. He's in it.
Was that last year?
Jake Garcia, he's in it. He was the last guy on points to make it. The guy that took over Short Friesen's ride, Caden Honeycutt, he'll be in it. Short Friesen obviously didn't get a playoff waiver. They didn't attempt to get a playoff waiver for Short because they didn't think he'd come back. He wouldn't come back in time. There's a couple more. Anyways, there's 10 drivers that are in the Naskin, whatever Naskin is. So, yeah, sorry. So Jake Garcia.
He won Rockingham. Tyler Ankrum won Rockingham.
Oh, that's right. He did win Rockingham. Yeah, everybody I named. Jake Garcia, Caden Honeycutt, Rajah Caruth, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Hemmert, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, and Corey Heim is your playoff 10 for the truck series. And they start their playoffs in Darlington, and their rounds go round of 10: Darlington, Bristol, New Hampshire, And then the round of 8, so they only eliminate 2 guys the first round. And then you got the Roval. They're racing on the Roval? They ever done that?
I don't think so.
Talladega and Martinsville. And then 4 guys will be eliminated, and then they'll crown a champion Halloween night. So that should be should be a wreck fest, probably. Halloween night, we'll see if somebody dumps Corey Heim or Corey Heim dumps somebody
Their
else.
last race is Halloween night.
Yeah.
So the Cup Series Championship's the 2nd, November 2nd.
Yeah.
Is that not early?
It was no. It was normal up until last year when we took the 2-week Olympic break. It's always ended on the first weekend of November the past several years.
That seems early.
Well, that's just because last year it didn't end until the 10th or whatever it was. We were weekend further or whatever. But a guy that will be making his last Truck Series start in Phoenix on Halloween night is Matt Crafton. He announced today that he is retiring from the Truck Series. Kind of the last guy to go out there. That we remember as kids racing when we were 6, 7 years old, watching the truck series with Rick Crawford's, with the Todd Bodines, Johnny Benson's of the world, Mike Skinner's of the world. He's the last one, and he's the oldest guy in the truck series by a country mile. He's full-time competitive. I know that some older guys still
Norm Benning.
Norm Benning, I think, still goes out there and races every now and then. He's like 72
I
years
love
old.
Norm.
He does, yeah. He's
I'll never forget a couple years ago when they first started racing at
Eldora.
Eldora.
Oh,
Norm
yeah.
Benning was out there ripping that bitch.
shit to make it to the main event. That was awesome. But yeah, it's a sad day. I don't like Matt Crafton, but he's last bit of my childhood in the truck series will be gone now after he retires this year. It'll be a whole bunch of guys that are racing that are usually or now younger than me or that are not that very good. And they're just kind of racing there. So Matt Crafton, 3-time truck champion. He'll probably be in the Hall of Fame one day. Should not, but he probably will be on the ballot for sure, and you'll probably eventually down the road get in there maybe. I think he's got 19 career truck wins. He's had a good...
That's not that many. I mean...
For 20-something years
not
of
that
racing,
many
that's
wins.
not a... Yeah, it's like he's been racing the truck series for like 25 years. That's less than a win a season. So... I don't know. He's not a Hall of Famer, but if he had a Truck Series Hall of Fame, yeah, he'd make it. He should make it. Three-time champion.
1 time, 2 times, 3 times.
Ultimately, he is the one guy that in this format has won a championship without winning a race all year. He did that in 2019, his last championship. Didn't win a race all year, but in the championship 4, finished above everybody else in that series and won the championship based off in Homestead. So. He can hold that to his aim, I guess, if that's a record you really want. I don't know if you really want that, but he doesn't have a championship without a win in the season, so congrats to him on that. But he's always been a solid driver. He's had a few, Xfinity and Cup starts throughout his career.
Sub for Kyle when he
sub
broke
for
his
Kyle. Yep, didn't really do nothing in that car. And Xfinity Series had some runs here and there. Didn't really do a whole lot. So he's a truck guy through and through, and it's like to see him go just because of I've been watching him race in Truck Series for since I can remember. And, when somebody retires and he's gone, I'm going to turn on the Truck Series next year at Daytona. And I'm going to look for the 88 Menards Thor Sport truck. And I'm not going to – I'm going to see the 88 truck because Tom Majeski will take over that 88 car starting next year. But it will not be Matt Crafton piloting that truck.
Yeah. Pretty much echo everything you said. He's the last one of the guys that we remember from – mid to late 2000s NASCAR truck racing when it was at its height, in my opinion. It's just another reminder that we're getting old as fuck.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the Xfinity series from 10 years ago, much less, 20. There's 2 guys left in the Cup series from our childhood. That's Denny and Kyle, which...
Joey.
I guess Joey, he started in 2009. But, I don't consider him an OG, from my childhood. There's not a ton of those guys left. And, we're getting old, and pretty soon, like you said, everybody's going to be who the fuck is this guy and who the fuck is that guy, which is pretty much already that way in those lower series. Got to retire sometime, and this is the right time for him, so I don't blame him. Day I'm able to retire, I'm out. See ya.
For real.
Deuces.
Yep.
I ain't working no more.
Yep, I agree. Well, we had a rumor. Rumor has it
There's a rumor
that
going
NASCAR is considering Dover to be moved to the All-Star race
Boo.
for 2026. Obviously, the past 3 years, the All-Star race has been at North Wilkesboro, and before that it was Texas. Before that it was Bristol, and obviously before that it was Charlotte every year. So I was hoping this date could go to Rockingham for the Cup Series next year. Seems like that's not going to happen.
Anderson Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Dodge Raceway. But, I'm not a fan of it.
Spa.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. First off, an All-Star race should be at night. And
Dover doesn't have
correct me
lights.
if I'm wrong, but I don't think Dover has
Say
any
NASCAR
lights.
04.
And if it ain't NASCAR Thunder 04 second race, where you race at Dover at night, which, to be fair, is cool. It looks cool, but that's not reality. I'd love to have $1 million, but damn it, I ain't got $1 million. So this doesn't make any sense. The All-Star race should be a Saturday night race, always should be. Maybe even a Sunday night race. I'll take a Sunday night race. It's been a Sunday night race the past several years, hasn't it? At North Wilkesboro, has it been Saturday?
Sunday.
Has it been Sunday? So that's how it should be. All-Star race should never be a day race unless it gets rained out the day before, or the day it's scheduled, and they have to back it up to the next day or whatever. So don't like it. Dover deserves a point race. It's a good track. The car is not great there, but it's a good enough track to where it deserves a full race day. And I don't know if the optics of it yet, and it's not official yet. It's not going to happen, but how much traction this has gotten, it's probably in the top 2 consideration for an All-Star race next year, which you look at it glass half full, it probably means North Wilkesboro will be a points race next year.
But the fucking car sucks on short tracks.
Unless you have a lot of tire wear, and North Wilkesboro is a repave, so it's not been great. So I don't know. I don't like this idea. I think All-Star races are go to tracks where they're old, throwback tracks like we've had at North Wilkesboro, or I'll be okay with them going back to Charlotte over this. The hype up for the 600. It's like the Gatorade duels at Daytona. The All-Star races a week before the 600. It kind of hypes everybody up for the Coke 600 on Memorial Day weekend. I'd be okay with that. Rockingham was my first choice. I think Rockingham would be an interesting race with these cars because it's a short track that drives like 1.5 miles, how fast it is and everything. So not my first choice. This is not what the All-Star race is supposed to be at. When they went to Texas, made no fucking sense for a couple of years. Even when they went to Bristol, trying the neon lights and the cars way back, and it wasn't a good race, and it just kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense. So if NASCAR, if you don't go to a short track or Charlotte, in my opinion, for an All-Star race, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I agree in principle. I will say this: the only way I think that this will work and that I'll be okay with it is if they're taking it to a different track every year. If they say, "Hey, we're taking your points race away this year, but you're going to get the All-Star race. Next year, we're going to give you your points race back, and we're going to take a different track, and that'll be the All-Star race." If they do that and they have, they go around like pretty much every other sport does, where the All-Star game or whatever is held at a different location every year, I'll be fine with it because it is what it is. But I don't know if they're doing that. I hadn't heard anything like that. I hadn't seen anything about that. So just taking it at face value, I don't think it will be a good race. Dover hasn't shown the ability to put on a good race in this next-gen car. Or I should say this next-gen car hasn't shown the ability to put on a good race at Dover. So, that's unfortunate. They keep fucking with the format every year. The format's different. They'll do something screwy with the format to make it convoluted and not make any sense. Like having a fucking points battle between the manufacturers or, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll do something. And, it'll be kind of weird, and it'll be a day race, and it'll be strange, and it is what it is. It's kind of one of those things where NASCAR's fixing the wrong shit. Like they're going at stuff, hey, I know the car's broke, but we're going to ignore this and we're going to put our focus somewhere else so we don't have to worry about this.
Let's change stuff so they takes pressure off of us.
Hey, look, we're trying to change. We're trying to make things better, yeah, but you're not fixing what needs to be fixed. So, put the fucking All-Star race back at Charlotte. Fix the car. We'll be happy.
I agree. Hit that button for attaboy.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. Attaboy. My attaboy from Richmond this past weekend. Hard to give it to nobody other than Austin Dillon. Came in here 28th in points. Pretty much had to win this race or had to win this next weekend at Daytona, which is a pretty good track for him as well. But obviously they circled this one on the calendar after what happened last year. The dramatics, the after effects of everything of how he won the race last year. Didn't get in the playoffs because of how he did it, even though he had the best car. For this year to come back, be like, all right, I'm going to do this shit again, or else I said, I'm going to do it clean this time. That would been interesting to see if we got a late race restart and Bowman jumps him on the restart and Bowman clears him if Austin Dillon goes in there again. I don't think he would, but wouldn't put nothing past him. But luckily it didn't come down to that for him. And, he went out there and just put an ass whooping on the field that second half of the race. Led over 100 laps, which is the first time 3 cars led over 100 laps since Dale Earnhardt Sr., I think in 1998 or something.
Race.
Did he lead that many laps in Daytona? I don't remember. But it's back at Dale Sr. in the 90s last time the 3-car led that many laps in a race. So, attaboy to Austin Dillon. Hard to give it to anybody other than him. Had to win this race to get himself locked in the playoffs, and did it the right way this time. Didn't fail post-race inspection. So, yeah, attaboy Austin Dillon and team. Strategy was perfect. Didn't allow the 12 to jump back ahead of them on the last pit stop, pitted before them. Then obviously jumped them and got up to a huge lead and just kind of rode the rest of the race. So, attaboy Austin Dillon and the 3 team for winning the race and locking themselves into the 2025 playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, fuck that guy. I'm going to give mine to Shane Van Gisbergen. First car 1 lap down, 14th place, face value. Not a great day. But when you take into consideration this is his first race at Richmond in a Cup car, he's not really shown the ability, to be super competitive on ovals in general. And, you take into consideration again that, he really only has to average like a top 20 this first round of the playoffs to make it to round 2. And then the ovals in round 2, a 14th place finish is really good for him. You can also take into consideration that his best finishing teammate was Daniel Suarez in 7th. It's not like those cars were super fast. And Ross Chastain finished 19th. So, really, really good day for him. Beat Carson Hocevar. Granted, he had some issues late. Kyle Busch, a little bit of damage.
He still did that 3-stop strategy and just. Yeah.
And then they had that really slow stop.
2 stops, both stops.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, Mike McDowell, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace. He had issues. Chris Buescher was just fucking slow, and then everybody else had some issues. But those are all big name guys that he outran. That he didn't get in trouble. He was very competitive.
Well, you would say he didn't get in anybody's way, but I think Alex Bowman would.
He didn't do anything wrong. No, he didn't block him. He didn't. He didn't let him pass him, which he didn't have to. But really, really strong showing. There's a point in that race where I was thinking that might be a top 10 car, and he's battling with William Byron and Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin and some of those guys. He was battling with them and holding his own, and at a certain point was kind of faster than them, running that really really top groove that you were wondering whether or not that they were going to be up near the wall. He was up there doing it.
Kyle Busch did it all night too.
Yeah, him and Kyle were both doing that. So I'm really impressed with him. I root for him on the ovals. I don't really root for him on the road courses because I don't want to see him win because it's kind of chalk. But I'd love to see him be competitive on the ovals. I think it would be really good to watch him, get good at that and be competitive. So, attaboy Shane Van Gisbergen. Hopefully, as they start going to some of these tracks for the second time, he'll be able to continue.
Yes, sir. We'll hit that button for You Can't Do That.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
How's your mama do?
Awful. You can't do that, RFK. I don't know what it was, if they, got a fucking curse put on them before they showed up to the race on Saturday, or, if all the crew chiefs got together and said, you know what, let's fuck this royally. Let's change these setups. Let's put the Daytona setup in it a week early, night before the Richmond race. I don't know what happened, but that was abysmal. 35th for Priest. Again, I get it. Brake failure, you can't really control that. But nobody else had that issue. Chris was just not competitive. I mean, he was just fucking slow. Just slow. Qualified 12th and never saw him again.
Had the Iowa set up in that thing.
Like, just bad. Brad Keselowski was the most competitive. There was a certain...
He was fastest in the race.
Yeah,
He's probably a top 5 car at the end of the race.
There's certain portions of the race where I thought he was good, just never really had the track position, and had a really shitty second stage, which got him behind. So, just a bad weekend when you had to have it. I mean, just death beam pointed at the earth, and they picked Iguodala. Like, what the fuck? Like, I do not understand how you can... You have to be able to be competitive at Richmond at this point of the season if we're fighting for points. You have to be able to show up to the racetrack and put something out there to be competitive. And Chris Buescher was a fucking no-show. Like, a no-show. If he would have got some stage points and, had a top 15-ish finish, we could be talking about a points battle this weekend at Daytona. But we're not, because he ran 25th all night. And finished 30th. And Alex Bowman finished second. And, that's not acceptable. Yeah, you've had a good enough season as far as the points go to be there, but you show up to Iowa, you're ass. You show up to Richmond, you're ass. There's been certain races throughout the season where the Roush cars were just no-shows. Most of the time there's one that does okay. You think back to the beginning of the season, Phoenix. Priest was good.
Chris was good.
Chris was all right, but Priest was probably better than Chris. There's some other races early in the season. Most of the races, Brad was unlucky. A lot of those, first 10 or so races. But, Brad's had some really rough weeks where he was just slow. But at this point of the season, especially when you bring speed on Friday, when they qualified, you expect to show up on Saturday and have a good day. You've got Iowa, which is a very similar racetrack to look back on, where Brad was dominant. And, Brad's had some of the best speed he's had in a Roush car, probably for the past 2 months. And you show up here and you're just a no-show. And now you've backed yourself in a hole where you got 3 cars fighting for one spot, and you're probably not going to get one of you in because you have to win. And you never want to be in that situation because Harrison Burton goes out and wins this race last year. Nobody had him. Everybody was picking a Roush car or a Hendrick car or, Harrison Burton shows up and wins the race. And you put yourself in a position, you back yourself into a wall where at best you get one of your cars in the playoffs and it won't really even matter. So just very disappointing. Made the race hard to watch for me because, I can take getting wrecked. I can, take a, right front blowing and bad luck happens. But just to be slow, that bad, is unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. My You Can't Do That from Richmond this past weekend. Going RCR on both ends this week. Give me Kyle Busch as my You Can't Do That. Rally to finish 16th, actually, which
I
is...
thought about giving my attaboy.
Yeah. Good finish for the 8 team, but obviously the big wreck going into 3 there. Haven't really talked about it at all today, but Briscoe, Larson, Bush all kind of like trying to fit in the same spot there going into 3. Briscoe gets turned in front of the field.
Which I think was Kyle's fault.
Yeah. Kind of started the wreck. Getting kind of plowed into him, Brad, all of them piling into some people. He clears Briscoe, and he kind of starts coming back down the track when there's still cars coming through the wreck. And at first I thought his car might have been broken. But obviously it was fine because he continued to run and never even pitted on the next pit stop under caution. So he coming down the track, and then obviously he clips the 9 of Chase Elliott, who's just trying to get through the wreck, and turns Elliott hard into the wall. Collects William Byron as well. William Byron is okay too in that wreck, but Chase Elliott pounds the wall. Ends his day. Chase was a decent car. Lost track position because he stayed out in that stage 1 with Priest there. He's working his way back, trying to work his way back up through the field, and just a boneheaded move by Kyle Busch. Like, you see all these cars coming, below you. You stay up top, kind of like William Byron. William Byron stayed up top after he got clear of Briscoe and everybody. He stayed up top while Busch was coming down, acting like there's nobody near him. Like they're at the very back of the field and this happens. No, you're near the front of the pack when all this happens. And just to do that, take out an innocent bystander like Chase Elliott is just bad. I know I'm a Chase Elliott fan. People are going to be like, oh, just mad because Chase wrecked. Not really. I mean, if Chase Elliott does that and it's roles reverse, I'm like, Chase Elliott, what the fuck are you doing there? Why are you coming down the track and taking out the 8 car of Kyle Busch? If Kyle Busch was the 9 car, he would be extremely upset with Chase Elliott there. And they're pretty good buddies these days. So it wasn't intentional or malicious or nothing like that. It was just forgetting where you are in the moment there for Kyle Busch. And this is a younger driver. It makes a little bit more sense. But Kyle Busch has been doing this thing for 20-plus years. Like, there's no excuse for Kyle Busch to do that. You don't get he's young, he'll learn. No, Kyle Busch is old enough. He should know how to handle that situation and not come back down the track when cars are still passing you. They're going much faster than you. Just stupid. Took out a guy that didn't need to be taken out. And, got a decent finish at the end of the day. But you give it to him for his performance as well. His teammate, Austin Dillon, which we can all agree, Kyle Busch is a way better driver, talent-wise, than Austin Dillon. His teammate went out there and dominated the second half of this race and won the race, convincing fashion. And he ran 20th all day. 10th to 20th all day. Like, what the hell happened? It's about the same cars. Is Austin Dillon really that much better at Richmond than Kyle Busch in this next-gen car? Must be, because Kyle Busch was kind of a no-show all day. So between that and the wreck and everything else, just a bad weekend for Kyle Busch. Now he goes to Daytona, where his teammate's in the playoffs. He's going to have to win this weekend at Daytona to join his teammate in the playoffs this year. So you can't do that to Kyle Busch. Is that fair or not? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to be a Chase Elliott homer here, but that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think he did it on purpose, but,
I know. I'm not saying he did,
I know,
but that's just terrible lapse of judgment there.
I think shit happens.
If he did that to Brad, you'd be very upset.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Well, Daytona's this week. Brad's got to win. Chris got to win. Priest got to win. Race going to suck. Going to be follow the leader for 75% of it.
Well, no, they'll be racing, saving fuel there for a minute. They'll race a little bit while they're saving fuel.
Yeah, it'll
look good.
It'll be artificial.
It'll look good.
It'll be bumper cars because you can't go nowhere. It'll look like the fastest traffic jam you've ever seen in your life because you can't go no place. And at the end, somebody out of fucking nowhere is going to win, or Brad's going to get wrecked by one of the Hendrick cars, and the Hendrick car is going to win, or going to get flipped his dick off and somebody's going to drive through him and hit him in the helmet with his front bumper. Or there's been every way to lose a race at Daytona. My Roush cars have figured out to do it, and I expect nothing but the same this week. So looking forward to be super disappointed again on Saturday, 2 weeks in a row. But hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully it's a good race and competitive, and they don't artificially run around there making it look like they're racing when they're really 75% throttle for 90% of it. But that's what I'm expecting. That's probably what's going to happen. It's going to come down to that final pit stop, which so many races these days do. And it's going to be on the pit crews and not speeding on pit road, not leaving a wheel loose. And we'll see.
Yeah. Part of me wants to say that this might be a little different, but I will say the past couple summer Daytona races have been the best super speedway races we've had, if you take out Atlanta, in the next gen era. And I don't know if it's because we got everything to lose or nothing to lose, everything to gain by most of these guys that are trying to make the playoffs. If they're, say fuck survival, we got to go out there and lead most laps we can and to be at front at the end to position ourselves to win this race. But this race, the past several years, have been better, the best super speedway racing we have gotten in this car. So I'm hoping this will be the same way with so many guys going for it, got nothing to lose. Fuck being nice to your teammates. Fuck trying to, be cautious or whatever. Just we're going for it. If whatever happens, happens. We're going to be aggressive. Which with this car, it's hard to do anything about it when everybody else is racing. But there is a possibility of making stuff happen at the very end if you have help, and a lot of help. So that is what's kind of leaning me towards saying this will be a pretty good race. It'll be entertaining. It'll come down to the last lap. Obviously, it's Daytona. And I think if you are the leader, you need to be the leader coming to the white, just because you get a wreck that's, let's say it's Chris Buescher's leading this race with one to go. I'm trying to speak it into existence here. And you got damn Kyle Busch, who's fifth. And you got Austin Dillon, his teammate, who's right behind him. And they throw it in the middle lane, but they turn. Austin turns Kyle, they make their move, and it's a big old wreck. And Chris Buescher's ahead of fucking Michael McDowell or something. Race is over. Booyah. Race over, coming out of 2 or something like that. Definitely a possibility. So I know the leader is usually not in the best position at the end of these races, but I think for this race, you need to be the leader or need to be the leader of your line to have a chance to win this race, because I think you'll possibly get a caution before you get to the checkered flag here. So you have to position yourselves throughout the race, but also think a lot of these guys are going to be like, fuck it, we're going for it. If we get wrecked on lap 20, we get wrecked on lap 20. It is what it is. We've got to position ourselves at the end of this race to win, and this is the best way to do it. Let's get out there, race our asses off, and see where we wind up on the last run. Hopefully we're up in the top couple rows and have a chance to win this race. So I'm hoping that, because like I said, Daytona's been the best. Summer Daytona has been the best super speedway racing we've seen in this next gen car, and I hope we get to see the same on Saturday night.
Well, with that being said, I got to pick.
Yep.
Picking with my heart, not my head. Give me Catherine Lay. Give me Chris Buescher.
Shit!
Give me Chris. Won this race a couple years ago.
Fuck.
Roush cars are going to be fast. I think he'll qualify all right. His pit crew's not the fastest, but they don't make a ton of mistakes. They usually do all right with that, and he doesn't speed a ton on pit road. Brad does. Well, I'm not picking him. Priest's pit crew is not good at best. So was going to pick a Roush car no matter what. And if Buescher's going to make the Final Four like I picked him to, he's got to win. And
Yep.
like I said, picking with my heart, not my head. But I can't. I'm probably not going to win the pick 'em anyway, so I'm going to just start picking guys I want to win the race. And I obviously want Chris to win the race.
Can we both pick Chris?
No.
That was going to be my pick, too. all my heart there too, because I want Chris to win as well. So, there's two guys I'm going. I'm trying to pick between. One, neither one of them is like really a smart pick, but obviously, I picked Zane Smith to win 2 races and make the playoffs this year. He's gonna have to win this race. Other side, my other guy, Kyle Busch. He almost won this race last year. He's almost won a Daytona 500. The past couple of years at RCR. And Austin Dillon's going to be helping him. I think Austin Dillon's going to be up there all night to help Kyle Busch. Zane Smith, he got his teammates, and Noah and Todd. I don't really trust either one of them because they'll be trying to win the race as well. At the end of the day, I'm going to go more with who I think will have a better car, and that's going to be Kyle Busch. Needs to win this race. Teammate won last week. RCR's got some momentum. I think Austin's going to do everything he can to help Kyle win the race. Kyle should be up there towards the end. He should have one of the fastest cars. It's according if they can execute. And that's what gives me pause on picking Kyle Busch, because every fucking week this guy speeds on pit road. Did it again this weekend at Richmond. He does it every week almost. He cannot do that at Daytona this weekend if he wants to have a chance to win this race, unless it's very early in the race. So, give me Kyle Busch. Should have a fast car. Should be up there towards the end. Almost won this race last year. Has almost won multiple races here since he's been at RCR. So, give me Kyle Busch. Give me RCR to go back-to-back and get both their guys in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully you're wrong.
Me too.
God damn it, Chris better win this race.
Same.
Or Brad or Priest, but Chris.
What you got going on this weekend?
I am working this weekend.
That sucks.
The race is at night, so I will be able to watch that.
Come on. I'll be here. Well, maybe not. I might be at my in-laws' house.
What a piece of shit.
I might wait for you. I'm not drinking, so I can leave whenever.
Fair. Working. Watching some NASCAR and some college football.
College football starts back week 0.
Is there any games Thursday, or do they start Saturday?
No, they're all Saturday. There's like I think 4.
So that's what I'll be doing. Other than that, that's it.
Yeah, I'll be off this weekend, so I'll get to enjoy all the racing at Daytona. Xfinity Series is on Friday night. I think they still got 2 races left before their playoff starts. So it's not a cutoff race for them. It's not the regular season finale for them. So hopefully Carson Quaff can get a win there on Friday, and Chris Buescher can win on Saturday. That'd be my dream scenario for this weekend. But I'll be able to enjoy everything and just have a good time. Still no alcoholic beverages for me this weekend, which sucks because that will be a very hard race for me to be sober for. But I'm going to do it. But luckily, it's the last race I get to have to deal with no alcohol.
Because you can start drinking Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Mine's Sunday. Technically, it's Tuesday, but...
Well, for a month for me would be, I think, Tuesday as well. But I'm not close enough.
Mine's next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday. I mean, 2 Tuesdays from now.
Yeah, so Tuesday after next.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going most of the month. Like, I'm not going a full month, but fuck it.
Which I probably will, because I got to work all weekend anyway. Unless Chris wins. If Chris wins Saturday, I'll drink a beer.
1.
I will drink a beer from the bottom.
Multiple. Nah. We'll see how it goes. But, y'all made it this far. If y'all made it this far in the episode, we appreciate it. We hit 800 followers on TikTok today, so we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. On the road to 1,000, got 200 more to go there. Y'all that follow us on TikTok, go and follow us on YouTube and all our other shit.
Feet finder.
We appreciate it. But yeah, follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast if you're not already. Follow us on the Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell.
Ding, ding.
Get every update every time we drop an episode. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. I did this all out of order. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. We'll come back with you next week to review Daytona and preview the round of 16. Hopefully, Chris Buescher is involved in that round of 16. But if he's not, we'll talk about it and talk about who the 16-man playoff field is. The Xfinity race is on Friday night on CW, and the Cup Series race is Saturday night at 7:30, I believe, on Big NBC, our first NBC race of the season.
Yay!
So it should get a pretty good rating as long as Mother Nature stays away.
Which there's a hurricane in Florida, so
Hopefully it gets out of here by Thursday or Friday. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll come back with you next week to review everything. And until next time, go Tigers.
go Cox.